Hey, hi everyone. This is Ranmay here on your show Coffee with Experts. Today we have Steve Winter, who is the founder and president at Astoundz with us. Welcome to our show, Steve.
Look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Great. Steve, before we move any forward and talk about digital marketing at large, and hear insights from you, I request you to introduce yourself, talk a bit about your journey thus far, and also about Astoundz, your agency, before we take it forward.
Yeah, so I've been in the IT world for, a very long time. I'm an old man here. I've been doing it about 30 years. I had a company called Ergos. It's ergos.com, still around, was a managed services provider that we grew, and I sold that about 12 years ago. And today's probably one of the largest privately held managed service companies today. So as I jokingly say, my IT habit kind of feeds my real estate habit. When I sold that company, bought commercial real estate, residential real estate, still own a lot of that. And 6-7 years ago, some guys approached me about starting an SEO company. And I said, no way, I get the same emails everyone else gets, and I don't want those. And they talked me into going and seeing it. And long story short, we originally licensed the methodology out of a group out of Dallas. I said, look, if I can sell, 5 or 10 accounts in the first few months or whatever, we'll make a run after this. And in the first 6 months, we sold 42 accounts. So Anyway, long story short, so that's how we got started. I thought 7 years ago, we were very late in the game, and we can't be more dead in the middle of it right now.
Yeah, you only experience it once you keep your foot in it, right?
Yeah.
Agreed. And talking about experience, in terms of your experience thus far, what key factors contribute to the success of a startup in today's competitive market, and then how do you identify opportunities and navigate through potential challenges there?
Yeah, as I say all the time, sales cures all ills, right? And so, from our standpoint, I had a lot of connections still in the IT world. I am involved in several high-end breakfast clubs here in Houston that is one person from industry, very overt out there about building business. And so, have a lot of connections. And very early on, I merged in another company that had been a 12-year web development company here. And the lady who's our chief marketing officer now, Lisa, has a large background, large network and all that. And so her and I really work on building the business in sales. And as I've always joked, I've never been hands-on. I am not a hands-on technical person at all, but I've been in technology now for 30 years. So, it's one of those things that I hire really good people around me that know it really well. I can speak it and talk it to entrepreneurs and business owners and the such. I can speak technology in very plain terms where they understand it. And I think that's really, really helped. And then, as is our, with Ergos and with Astoundz, with our name Astoundz, it's there because we want to astound you. We want to make sure we do a great job in what we do. And especially here in Houston, Texas, if you do your job and you do it well, and, as big of a town as it is, it's a big, small town, and word gets around on who does their work, who stands behind it. And, so if you're selling and you can sell and then you hire properly and get good people around you in the service business, I think you can always do well.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, the breakfast clubs, it's all about maintaining strong relationships. So, and not only in terms of, prospecting, fresh acquisition, but also maintaining strong relationship with your customers. It's quite essential for your long-term success. In sales, like we call, repeat business is the best business, right? So what strategies do you employ to foster company loyalty and create a positive brand image for your ventures?
Yeah. So in both of these ventures, what I am always after and have been after is what I refer to as RIBBYs, which are recurring billable events. Okay, a little play on the baseball term, but that's what we want is the recurring billable events. And so that's why, yes, we do websites And yes, we do hosting, but the main thing we really do is the search engine optimization work. And we're after that recurring billable event. And with our agreements, we do not require any long-term agreements. We tell all of our clients, we want you with us because you like us and because we're providing a good return on investment. And, we have many of our clients have been with us a very long time. And, they will tell you that we are the least expensive salesperson that they can hire, for hundreds to maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a month, depending, and it all varies and depends on how competitive it is and what you're going after. But we are always a lot less than a salesperson, yet we can bring in as much or way more than a typical salesperson can. And, when you can help a company grow, they tend to stick with you.
Absolutely. End of the day, it is a numbers game, talking about sales and the revenue side of things. And once the numbers are adding up, there is no reason, if you have a good relationship on top of it, the stickiness comes alongside, right? So that there's no rocket science. People talk about a lot of, repeat business, you should not have a leaking bucket. You should have recurring revenue coming in from a particular client, be it enterprise, small scale. But if kind of tick mark those small, daily boxes, so it's just there. If you can just keep up your word in terms of what you're pitched and what you're delivering, it's as simple as that, right? You did touch upon about SEO, Steve, right? How do you approach competitor analysis and SEO for, let's say, a new pitch or a new client that's getting onboarded? And how do you identify opportunities to outperform, the competition or competing websites in search engine rankings?
Yeah, so we use, multiple different tools, but one of the biggest ones we use is SEMrush. And, we'll do a lot of keyword analysis there, and you use their keyword magic tool and different things to see, what they're doing, how they're doing. We start off with a questionnaire with our clients, to find out, who they think their competitors are, what keywords they want to show up for, just so we get an understanding of their business. But once we have that, then we go and do the analysis, and we'll look at, what are the volume keywords. And sometimes there may be a volume keyword, but it's really not their business. Okay. So that's what you've got to, we've talked about it. It's not all about traffic, right? It's about quality traffic. It's about traffic that matters, and it's about conversions. And so it's identifying what are the true keywords people are looking for when they're looking for their kind of business, and then going out and then seeing, how competitive is that keyword, right? And we've got all kinds of tools out there that tell us, right? Not to mention the fact, if you can see if people are paying for ads and spending lots of money on those keywords, you can tell very quickly how competitive some things are. And so then we go look at the competitors, and we do competitor analysis to see what the competitors' domain authorities are, what they're, how they're doing, what size their websites are, how robust they are, how long they've been around, all that type of stuff, so we see where we can and can't compete in a timely fashion.
Absolutely. When you talk about businesses, if you ask them their competition, they will, just refer to the ones which they see there right in front of their eyes, right? Especially local competition. But when we as marketers, go and do our research, we kind of find out in most cases that the online presence is being taken up by the names which they do not really even feel are their competition, right? And then they are taking the market share without the knowledge, because they feel that the competition lies right there in their territory. And there are names which takes up online presence and is eating up the market share without even them knowing it. So that is where it is kind of very important to educate them, make them understand that how the online game is played and how you got to have that market share in order to have that quality footfall which you are referring to.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So can you please elaborate more on this, on some of the effective techniques and best practices that entrepreneurs should employ to optimize their website structure for improved search engine rankings?
Yeah. Well, so we look at it, we say there are basically 4 legs to the stool. Okay. First of all, and this is hard. You say for entrepreneurs, this is where I think you have to be smart, right? And some people are very technically astute, but a lot of them aren't. And keeping up with SEO and what to do it's not an easy game, right? We're in it every day, and it's changing, and it's hard for us. So, as an entrepreneur, I think you need to, if you want to have an online presence and compete in the marketplace, you do need to find a good partner, number one. But what we do when we look at it is, number one, your site has to be set up technically the right way, right? You have to conform to just the basic technical things. And the analogy is you have a sitemap, which is like a table of contents, and you have what's referred to as a robot.txt file, which tells Google of that table of contents what pages you want to index and things like that. And those are just basic technical things. Then you have your headings, your H1s, your page titles, all these different things, and there's limitations on how many characters and all to do this stuff properly. But that's what you have to do. Number one is have it on a good platform. It's got to be fast. It's got to be secure, and you have to set it up properly. That's number one. Analytically, then you have to go look at, where can you and can you not compete? Okay. If you're competing against Home Depot and Lowe's and you're a small local company, it's going to be hard depending on what it is you're trying to do. And so you've got to see where you can and can't compete. And if you're going to compete on a local basis, or you're going to compete on a national basis, and what kind of budget do you have? Okay. And then the next one is the functional aspect of it, is that Google still does rank on quality content. And even more so now than ever, you have to have really good content. And that content not only has to be in depth, but we like having FAQs on there now because of voice search and all the things that are going on out there. So you've got to really have good, compelling content. And then last is that you have to have domain authority. And so the only way to really get that, or the best way to get it, is with really good, high quality backlinks to your site. And so, if you do these four things, you can get there. But it's I've had some great analogies. It's like running a marathon. You can't go run once and think you're in shape, and you can't go get in shape and stop running and think you're going to stay in shape. And SEO is the same way. It takes time. You have to continually work at it, and you have to continually watch it to see how you're doing, and making sure that you're doing the right things to stay out there. But it's an investment, and it is a long play game. You can do paid AdWords and other things, especially in the interim, in the beginning, until you can compete on the organic side. And then, with local search and your Google business listing, with your SEO and your organic, with paid ads, then you've got Google guaranteed, depending on your business, and different ways that you can get up there. And we're not even talking about social media yet, but this is all just about search and SEO, on how you can compete out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amalgamation of so many things that it keeps you on your toes. And you did mention a very valid point at the beginning of having the right partner, because it is changing every day, and we are in it, and we are finding it tough to kind of catch up with it. And people who have it is our business. People who are running for something else, the bread and butter is something else. They cannot really focus all the time, to stay on top. If you talk about their digital marketing propositions, right? And it's really nice that you touched upon link building, for domain authority, for building that, presence in Google size. So, how do you approach at Astoundz? How do you approach at, link building in a way that it goes beyond quantity and emphasizes on the importance of acquiring authoritative and relevant backlinks that truly contribute to your client's website's, online presence?
Yeah. So, one of the first things we do, especially with your, is making sure you have your Google business listing, especially if you're trying to do local search, and then building citations, right? And making sure and citations are nothing more than your name, address, and phone number, but making sure it is consistent across the internet, across all the different listing sites, because all these listing sites, the Googles, the Bings, Facebook, anything out there that might have your name, address, and URL and all that on it, the more consistent it is, the easier it is for the search engines to know where you are. And all those, especially from these bigger search engines, are all good backlinks to your website. Okay. So we want to make sure that all the citations are correct. That's our quickest and easiest gain. Beyond that, then we are going out and looking at industry specific high domain authority sites that we will go create content for and link back to these sites. And we do some of that internally. We do it with partners. We've got a 2 or 3 pronged approach there to get good quality backlinks.
Great. Talking about links, otherwise, getting guest posts and while we did speak about citation, getting guest posts and good quality backlinks can be really challenging, right? And those genuine backlinks. Earlier it was easy, you just play around with the quantity, but Google becomes smarter by the day, as we all know. What is your take on building those genuine, good quality backlinks? How difficult is it, and how should one go around doing it?
Well, like I said, again, you can find a partner that can help you do it, because to go do it organically by yourself, to go search companies and get them to do it and all that, it's really, really hard. But what you've got to do is have a really high quality partner, and that's what we've got, that we work with what we're doing, and we have really seen it. We've played around with different higher volume backlinks with different things from the Fiverr world and different areas that say they can do a lot of things for you. We always come back to getting really good, what we know are high quality content, high quality backlinks that we don't run into any issues with them, and really help us. And we see that it really moves the needle for our clients, especially on those terms that you're either sitting on that second page or bottom of the first page, and you're really trying to compete on competitive terms, that we slowly build backlinks. And it's like you were talking about Google. You can't just go throw 100 of them at it and all that. Plus, you can't afford it anyway, typically. But we build them out over time, and sure enough, we see it slowly progress. And over 3, 6, 9, 12 months, we can typically get to that first page.
Absolutely. And at the beginning, we did discuss about, conversions being so important, because those are the numbers, that every business wants to see at the end of the, let's say, month, quarter, year, right? So talking about conversions, what are some of the most advanced CRO practices that businesses can implement, according to you, to increase their conversion rates?
Well, it's something you're working with all the time and doing different testing with and all that. But we've gone to, first of all, you want to make it real easy, right? You don't want people to have to search. And so, on every page, we want to have where people can easily get to a form or a phone number, whatever it is, to convert. All right. And we try to keep things very simple. And once you get their name and phone number and email, you really don't need any more than that. You can get the rest of it later, but what you want to do is get them to convert. And we have newsletters. We've done different things where we'll do different white papers and things and get people access to that. But really, it's all about making it easy. Number one, to convert, giving them quick access to it. We also create better looking forms instead. We try to put some information on there. It's like on our own, where we have our 100% guarantee and things like that. The other thing that matters, and in different ways, and we may talk about this a little bit too, but is having really good reviews. Okay. Everyone pays attention to reviews now. And I love it. Some of our clients say, well, we really don't need reviews. We're kind of above that. And it's like, you say that, but everyone looks at reviews. And not to mention that it also helps, because we put from, Google came out with an algorithm 2 or 3 years ago, an update called EAT, which was expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Really focused more on financial and medical sites. But I think, like everything Google does, it gets into every site these days. And so they're looking for that credibility. And so having these good reviews, and then we have plugins that stream these 5-star reviews on the homepage, so people see it right away that this is a good, trustworthy client, that they've got good reviews. And reviews are very important to manage and maintain from a reputation standpoint, but they also help from a conversion standpoint, because people see that it is a trustworthy client, to be able to convert and know that you're not going to get spammed or get taken, those types of things.
I'm really glad you brought up on that point. I wanted to actually speak about it, reviews. So, we have seen a lot of, 5-pointer ones, which does not really look so genuine, And if you look at reviews like 4.3, 4.5-ish, 4.7-ish, and it rather looks more genuine versus all the 5-pointers with just few reviews, and let's say very less number of reviews, 8 10 reviews, all fivers, and no one actually writing about the experience that they might have had with that business and just leaving reviews. It kind of shows that those might not be really genuine reviews. Those might be fake or whatever. So what is your take on that? How do you feel what should be the parameter of reviews looking more genuine to a prospective buyer?
Well, and that's what we create. Part of what we do is we create a domain name / reviews page that takes people right to be able to make it very easy to get to the Google review page for people to give Google reviews that we work with our clients on. But you look at us, I think we have one-star review out there that is someone, and the name was, it used to be anyway, I haven't looked at it in the last few days, but it was anonymous. So they put it in as anonymous. And was no one that we knew who it was. So, but on all reviews, we respond to all of them. Okay. And when we ask our clients to write a review, we ask them to explain what their experience was with us. So if you go look, as an example, at our reviews, that they're real reviews. And right. We respond to every one of them. And that's what we talk to our clients about, is good or bad, respond to the review, because it's really how you try. It's hard. And we've been very lucky, knock on wood, that we haven't had negative reviews, even from just the anonymouses of the world out there, right, doing it and all that. So, but we, if we ever get one, our intention is always to astound our clients. And if we fall short, we want to make it right. We try to do right by our clients all the time. And I think if you do that, that's where you can really start to see if they're real reviews or not. And, they used to be easier maybe to game the system, but it's not as easy now. And, if people just see, one word review, awesome or great or whatever, then you know, maybe not so much. And that's why, I think people do pay attention and go and dig into the reviews a little more to see what's real and not real, and how they're responded to.
Yeah, actually, on the contrary, I'm following a tool scheme which actually tells you, if those reviews are like 2-3 liners, people spend more time on it, going through it, understanding the review versus, like you mentioned, awesome, very good, superb, all these reviews, they actually kind of does not look that real, even if those are. I'm not saying that those are fake, but even if those are these kind of reviews which kind of narrates the experience of me purchasing or using your product or service, really, leaves that impression on your prospective buyer's mind. And then, even if it is something which is not, let's say, if I have had a bad experience with your business, I leave a bad review, you go back, you fix up my experience, you kind of sort the problem out. It can be anything around package or whatever product service I would have taken from you. And then if I go back onto your page and leave a positive review that, hey, Steve kind of fixed this, this shows that, it is of much higher importance that even if anything goes wrong, this business actually goes back, takes care of it and fixes it versus just leaving it that way. So that shows more, it speaks more volumes about the business ethics that one has. Yeah, I agree. And Steve, I cannot leave you without talking about the burning topic. AI. We are all in the storm of AI, chat, GPT part. What is your take on this? I know for sure exciting times ahead, but where do you think we are heading?
Boy, that's a great question. And if I had that crystal ball, but we are talking to a lot of people in the industry that know a lot about it. And we've been using it, right? I mean, we've used it for a long time, just helping on content development and things like that. And it's pretty phenomenal what it can do. There's no doubt. And we were talking about it. There were some folks, there were articles out there today that Google's going to go away in 10 years. Well, first of all, it's going to happen a lot quicker than 10 years. We're going to continue to see a lot of change in the next 3 to 5 years with what this is going to do. how it's going to bring back results. I think people still, again, it's grabbing information off of websites, right? I mean, it's grabbing information out in the big giant domain of all of these different things and bringing back results. But it's, there is no doubt, I think we're going to get richer and richer results because of it. Content and good quality content is going to continue to be very important. But, as much as I've been in this, and I've been in the IT world now for 30 years, and there was a lot of things that I thought, boy, it's going to really change and we're going to be out of business tomorrow and all that. But the one thing that I've truly understood is that a lot more people with a lot less knowledge than us are a lot more scared of technology than we are. And I think what we're going to be able to do is learn it and leverage it and continue to do what we do in whatever fashion it is. And that a lot of the population is still going to need a lot of help. Doesn't matter how smart this intelligence is, you're still going to have to understand it and be able to figure out how to use it and all. And but it's definitely going to impact how things are done.
Perfect. Steve, thank you so much for all your insights. But, before we kind of finally let you go, I just wanted to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Super. What was your last Google search?
What was my last Google search? Boy,
you can check it on your system. It's an open book one. So don't worry.
It was for fireworks for the 4th of July coming up. Buying wholesale fireworks.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Your plans of next vacation?
Scotland, golf trip.
Superb. Are you a night person or a morning one?
Night person.
Okay. Let's say if we make a movie on you, what genre would it be?
What is what?
Let's say we have to make a movie on you. Okay. What genre would it be?
What genre? Country and Western.
Okay, nice. And what is the best thing that you like about your job, about your office, about this industry? You can pick anyone, yeah.
That we're helping clients grow their business, and that we're very family oriented around it, and our friends are clients and our clients are friends.
Okay, great. Last one, I will not really grill you any further. Favorite book?
Favorite book? Oh, I've got a couple of them. One of them is The Go-Giver, which again is more of a sales book. I liked Who Moved My Cheese. I've had to reinvent myself 2 or 3 times. Those are, and Good to Great are some books that I like.
Okay.
And Rich Dad Poor Dad. Rich Dad Poor Dad's my last one.
Okay, great. And thank you so much, Steve. It has been a real pleasure hosting you, and I'm sure our audiences would have benefited a lot out of what they heard from you in terms of SEO, digital marketing, helping clients at large to grow. So a big thank you for taking out time for this podcast here. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Great. And the next time we kind of get on a more detailed episode, I would rather want, your entire tagline, one search, one click, one company, to be visible in the background,
Yeah. I'll do it with my whole logo back there. We've got like a podcast room that I'm working on that it's got too much light coming into it. I ordered some blinds and stuff like that so we can use that more often.
Great. Superb then. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.